Good afternoon and Assalamu alaikum. Today I'm going to talk about the atmospheric circulation. Particularly, we are going to talk about the monsoon, the rainfall, um, also, we are going to talk about the local winds and the pressure, the air pressure, and the wind pressure. So, the very first thing we are going to talk about the monsoon that happens twice in the winter and in the summers as well, the monsoon rainfall. So, the word monsoon means season. So, if we talk about the monsoon winds, so they will be the seasonal winds. And if we talk about the monsoon rainfall, it will be the seasonal rainfall. So the monsoon are the seasonal winds that blow from the sea towards the land from July to August. Now, why it is blowing from sea to the land? Because in the July and August, we know that it is really hot. The land gets hot, and the sea it doesn't get that much hot because because it is the nature of it is made up of like it's a liquid matter. However, the land is a solid matter, so the air above the land will be much hotter, and we know that the hot air tends to rise up. Where it tends to rise up, it will go above the sky, creating a low pressure in its place. However, the sea, because it is a liquid, so it takes time to become hot. That's why the wind or the air above the sea would not be as much as hot as the land is. Hence, the air pressure would be more and more on top of the sea. So the wind would try to move from the pressure of a high pressure to a low pressure. So in this scenario, the wind will move from the sea to the land. Okay, now the reversal happens in the winters. In the winters, the sea they are not as much as cold as the land is because land is a solid matter, so it is very cold. And when it's cold, so the air on top of the land is cold, and when you have a cold air, that is heavy air, and it tends to sink and it tends to stay, creating a higher pressure. And when there's high pressure air, and on the sea, the air is not as cold as on the land is, so it tends to rise up, creating a low pressure on surface of the sea. So the wind is going to blow from an area of the high pressure to the area of the low pressure. So in this way, the air will be blowing from the land to the sea. So this is what it is written. Overall, we can call it a maritime influence. Okay. Now, during the summers, I'm going to read all of the concept that I've just talked about. During the summers, due to the high angle of the sun, Punjab and Sindh plains get heated up. Thus, an area of very low pressure develops here as a air rises. There are two monsoon systems, one originating from the Bay of Bengal and the other from the Arabian Sea. When the moist laden winds from the high pressure areas of sea blow towards the land, and from the east of the monsoon clouds are deflected along the Himalayas from Nepal to Pakistan. Along the way, these clouds rise, cool, and thus condense, eventually bringing rainfall to Pakistan. And they affect the northern Punjab, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Gilgit Baltistan, Azad Kashmir. Now, if you can see that this is the Arabian Sea and this is the Bay of Bengal. Now, the water tends to rise up, and this is not the water but the moist air, the moisture in the air. So these are the moist laden winds. They blow from the sea to the land in the summers, and in the winters it blow from the land to the sea. So now let's talk about the Western depressions. Western depressions are the wind systems that originate from the Mediterranean Sea and travel eastwards towards Afghanistan and Pakistan. Since they make a long journey, they lose most of their water when they reach Pakistan. And during the winters, which is late November to March, they bring rainfall because during winters the Arabian Sea retains its warmth and thus cold air from coastal areas flow towards the sea. And the flow of air from the coastal areas create a low pressure. That's the dry, cold air from the interior Sindh and Punjab flows towards the coast. And to replace the low pressure formed in Punjab and Sindh plains, these western depressions move from the high pressure area, which is the Mediterranean Sea, towards the low pressure area, which are the Indus Plains. For rainfall or liquid precipitation to occur, two things are necessary. First is the moisture in the air, and second is the sufficient